Throughout my 20s, I made so many financial mistakes that I wish I could go back and I could fix. Right now, at the age of 43, yeah, I know, I'm 43. I know what they say, black don't crack. And hopefully I don't crack anytime soon. I will go back to tell myself in my 20s, this is exactly the 7 things that I would need to do in order to build wealth. You should really stick around because this list is really good. If you feel like there's anything else you want to add to it, go right ahead and add to it because I would love to hear about it. Time is the only thing that you cannot get back. If you're gonna start investing, you need to do it as early as possible. Me, my guys, I was naive. I did not invest as early as possible. And yes, I could blame it on the fact of no one told me anything, but you know what? I cannot do that. I cannot blame my schools. I cannot blame my parents. I can blame no one. As soon as I got my first job in my 20s, it was right there an option to invest into 401k. I choose to neglect it. I was too excited about the fact that I finally got this check. I'm finally getting money. I'm doing good. I want to catch up in life because my parents always told me no, no, no to everything. So I wanted to buy an Xbox and the PlayStation, which I never even played. I'm not even a gamer. Get my own place, get married young. I did so many things to put me in a financial burden, and all I did was neglect investing. But luckily, I was able to realize that, and in my 30s, I started investing. But I look back now at those earlier years when I started investing and even putting $100 or $200 a month and getting the company match, how much money I actually missed. We're seeing now the S&P 500, how it is booming in the past 20 years. I mean, come on, guys. It grew at least 20 to 30 to maybe even 40%. So the money that I'm looking back on that I lost, I got regrets. And I don't have a lot of regrets in life. But the one thing about it though is I did learn from it. And in my 30s, I started investing. So I would tell myself in the 20s, do not wait. Do not wait to your 30s and your 40s. It's a lot harder. It's like trying to go to the gym in your 30s and your 40s after you were binge eating and binge drinking all the way in your 20s and trying to get a six pack. And now a six pack is out of style. The next lesson I would tell myself is this: lifestyle creep is real. Some people go excessive when it comes to lifestyle creep. As soon as they get that raise, they spend all that money and they start living beyond their means. But for some guys, it could be slow and steady and you don't even notice it. That's a scary thing when it comes to lifestyle creep. What I should have done and what I would tell myself in the 20s in order to avoid lifestyle creep is this: make sure you're saving and you're investing a percent of your money. That way, as soon as you increase your income, you're also increasing your investments. You're also increasing your savings. But at the same time, you're also increasing the amount of fun that you're having, your fun money. Because listen, what's the point of working so hard and doing all of this if you can't enjoy life, especially in the earlier stages in your life? Because once you're in your 20s and your 30s, that's when you could just go travel to Europe and do all these type of trips. And you could sleep in a rough bed. You know, you could be walking all day. You don't need that much sleep. But when you're older, you do. I'm not going to be 40 years old sleeping in a hostel, okay? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be sleeping on someone's couch or on an air mattress. I can't do it. So you got to do all these things when you're younger and you have the energy. But the key to that is to continue to save and invest because the older you get, you might get married, you start having kids, your life is going to change completely. But if you hold on to the principles of always keeping a certain percent invested, always continuously, your lifestyle will never change to a negative way. It will always become positive. Yes, you will be spending more, but you're saving and you're investing more. I started doing that in my 30s, and that made my life extremely as simple as possible. Every time I get a raise, I don't have to mess around and try to realign my budget or whatnot. No, I already know automatically what's going into my 401k, what's going into my Roth IRA, and what's going into my emergency fund. I always know exactly what's going on, especially, come on guys, I'm not sure if you use Ally, but Ally is awesome. Ally has buckets. So I'm gonna go on vacation, I automatically transfer money over to Ally. It will go into vacation. It will go into fun spending with my family. It will go into Christmas shopping. It will go into car repairs in the future in case I need any. I have a bucket for so many damn things on Ally. That way, when something happens, I know I'm able to take care of it. And the more that I make, the more I'm able to fund those buckets. The third life lesson I would tell myself is this: an emergency fund is great. We all need an emergency fund, but we also need an investment plan. You see, keeping your money, and some people do this and it drives me crazy, and I did it too, so I get it. Putting your money in a savings account for like a regular bank, like Bank of America or like Chase, interest on your savings account, that's nothing, guys. That's a free ride for inflation. Inflation is destroying that money. But yes, it's great to have an emergency fund for emergencies, but you need to have an investment plan. You're not going to be able to build so much wealth in a savings account. Okay, this is not going to happen. The money you have in your emergency fund, especially we're not keeping it in these regular conventional banks, we're putting it in a high yield savings account. It's only there, guys, to get, yes, some money on interest, but also to help you out and to protect you in case you have any emergencies. But you are not going to be able to build wealth if you don't have an investment plan. In my 20s, I wish I would have had a good strategy. It doesn't need to be anything that's so difficult, okay? It didn't need to be that. It could have been as simple as investing in my company's 401k, investing into S&P 500, and that's it. Something as simple as basic as that, I could have done that, but I didn't do it, right? I did not do it until my late 30s. An investment plan, guys, could come from all types of avenues. What I would tell myself is always, please get the 401k match and get that instantly. Don't be stupid. That's free money. And then once I'm done with that, I will open up a Roth IRA account and try to take advantage of all these tax advantage accounts. And even though I was trying to build an emergency fund, guys, I was never that good at it because I was saving, but kind of like in the way when you're saving leftovers and you really never even eat it. That was the way I was saving. I was not doing it the right way because, of course, I was partying and having the greatest times in my life. Now, do I regret this? No, I don't actually regret it. I look back and say to myself, I wish I would have did things differently, but I feel like all those past mistakes that I made put me in a position where I'm at today, where I could say I never want to do that again. To me, that was a lesson. And now in my 30s, I'm implementing a completely different lifestyle that I know I need to do in order to build wealth. But if I would have had the knowledge and started investing in my 20s, who knows where my life would be right now financially. The fourth life lesson I would tell myself is this: you're going to pay for procrastination, but with interest. You see, if you start procrastinating when it comes to investing, you're just missing out. You're missing out all the compound interest. And in my 20s, once again, that's what I regretted the most. I would have went and grabbed myself by the collar and said, stop clowning around, stop procrastinating, start investing. You cannot just delay this because time, guys, as we all know, is critical when it comes to investing. It just makes life a whole lot easier. Let me give you an example. If you save $100 a month in your 20s, you can have nearly $300,000 by the time you retire. But if you wait to the age of 35, you damn near have to triple that amount. And the amount of money you're going to make in retirement is not going to be as close as if you started in your 20s. And it's also going to be a lot more difficult because the older you get, you're not going to have as much money to save and to invest because you probably put yourself in some crazy financial obligations where it makes life difficult. Hello, that's me. Welcome to the world of having kids, having cars, having a house. All these responsibilities that I now have makes it difficult for me to play catch up. So yes, procrastination is a huge cost and it costs you hundreds to millions of dollars in retirement. The fifth lesson I would say to myself is this: the fear of not knowing will cost you more than money. You cannot act naive now when it comes to your finances. And in my 20s, that's what I did, guys. I really didn't pay attention and educate myself when it came to finances. Now, luckily in my 30s, I did go to University of Central Florida. I got my degree in accounting and in finance, and I became way more knowledgeable when it comes to finance. But today, in these current times, you're seeing so many people struggle with financial literacy. A lot of people are so afraid to learn about finances because they know, and we all know that your lifestyle will have to change once you find out all the bad things that you're doing, and you need to change that behavior and start doing the right things to build wealth. Acting dumb and acting like, I don't know what's going on in my budget, I don't know what happened, I blame the economy, I blame this administration, doesn't fly. You see, yes, we do have a president in this country. Donald Trump currently is the president. But in your household, this is your White House. This is your economy. You are the president of your own household. You control your own economy. If inflation is high, you have to figure out in your household what type of adjustments you need to make in order to make it work. But you cannot fight with resisting exactly what's going on with inflation and the cost of goods being so expensive and just be so defiant and just keep on throwing your money there and just argue all day. You got to do something about it. That's why I feel like educating yourself financially and knowing exactly what's going on in the economy, knowing exactly what inflation is, knowing simple things, guys, as simple as keeping money, right, in a savings account in your regular bank is not good. All that money is being destroyed by inflation. You have to put that money to work. You have to put that money in a high yield savings account. You have to put some of that money within the market, and understanding what to do is exactly how you're going to build wealth. But you can't act dumb. During this times, guys, there's so many information out there on YouTube. There's so much books out there in the library you could read. I mean, there's endless amounts of personal finance information that is out there. Now, some stuff can be confusing, especially when they start talking about crypto and mining, all that other crazy stuff. You don't need to have that to build wealth. You guys do know that wealth was built way before crypto was around. There is a proven strategy of building wealth. Invest in the S&P 500, dollar cost averaging, getting a company match. Yes, you might not be a gazillionaire, but hey, at least you won't be broke asking your kids for money in your 50s and your 60s. That's something you certainly don't want to do. So acting naive and acting dumb and not putting in all the proper work to learn about finances will certainly cost you more than just money. And the sixth lesson I would tell myself is this: the older you get, the harder it will be to take risk. You see, in your 20s, guys, that's when you can invest in the stock market, and in your portfolio, invest heavily on equity, because you have all these years, guys, of investing in stocks where you can deal with the turbulence, with all the ups and downs and all the movements, because you know when you invest in equity how much money you can get within the stock market. But the older you get, can't afford to take that risk, because now your money had to be extremely strategic. That's when you start introducing bonds into your portfolio, and now you're not as risky and you cannot ride this market turbulence. That's why now, with so much turbulence, people are freaking out because they're seeing their retirement money take a huge dip. But if you're someone now in your 20s, you get excited because right now you're investing during the dip and you're in it for the long run. You see, the later you start saving, now this is not even a long-term goal anymore. This is more like a midterm to a small-term goal, because you just let all those years go by. And I did as well. I let all those years go by where I could have made so much wealth within my 20s. And I don't want to see people make that same mistake. Looking at myself now in my 20s, it's one of those punch in the head. But I understand though, and I do appreciate myself in the 30s for making the changes that I didn't do in my 20s in order to get to a point where I'm at now. Now, with that being said, I'm still not afraid to take risk. I still do take risk in my life, and it's not only financial risk. I take risk with businesses. I take risk with doing a YouTube channel. I just go out there and just dedicate my time to try to build more wealth and more income. You see, the lack of the things that I did in my 20s, I'm not making up for it now in my 40s. So yes, I'm older now, but I am not afraid to take risk. I never am. I always bet on myself. Not stupid though, okay? I don't put all my money into crypto whatsoever. Maybe in the future I might dabble, put like 2% of my portfolio in there, but I'm taking very calculated risks where I know my hard work could pay off, and the only thing I will lose if I fail in whatever it is I'm trying to do is just my time. And the seventh life lesson I would tell myself is this: regret doesn't compound, but guilt might. This whole video, guys, is about me talking about the mistakes I made in my 20s. And I am going to tell you with all honesty, at least today, I made those changes. At least I am not stuck sitting back thinking about my life in the 20s and regretting every single thing and having all this guilt. Now I pursue anything I put my mind into. I'm not afraid to do YouTube videos to go out there and start talking. I'm not afraid to say I don't know something and ask questions. I just leave that all in the past, because today is really, guys, all you can control. That's why I practice meditation, stoicism, and trying to be in the present. Because if you start thinking about the past continuously, you'll be extremely stressed out. You will have no motivation, no dedication, no drive, no nothing, because you feel like you were a failure in the past, so you're going to be a failure now. You gotta stop that mentality. You have to leave that alone. You have to say to yourself, F it. I could do great things. I know now what I need to do, so I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna make excuses anymore. I'm gonna go out and pursue all my goals and all my dreams. And the mistakes that I made in my 20s is all life lessons that made me who I am today. Now, do I wish things were easier? Yes. Do I wish I would have invested earlier? Yes. Do I wish I never procrastinated? Of course. But that's the past. There's nothing you can do about it now. The only thing you can do is to start today, learning and growing and pursuing your goals and your dreams. So there you have it, guys. Those are the 7 lessons that I would tell myself in my 20s. If you have anything you want to share, drop a comment down below, guys, because I would love to read them and respond to as many as I can. Catch you guys on my next video. Peace.